So by now you've probably heard of ChatGPT. It's an AI conversation tool. So you type in anything you want to talk about, and ChatGPT is going to talk back to you in an incredibly realistic way. Well, that's not all it can do. It turns out it can also design custom Hearthstone cards. I saw this post on Reddit talking about how ChatGPT designed a great custom Hearthstone card for this guy. And it sounded quite realistic. The stats made sense. The effects made sense. Now, Hearthstone cards aren't just about designs, though. You also need artwork to bring a card to life. So I also utilized the Stable Diffusion AI art generator to make some matching artwork, taking the prompts from ChatGPT. So for instance, a card called Chaos Bolt, I would type that in as a prompt, along with a few other things to guide it, like the words Warcraft art, and it spit out some artwork to combine with the card designed by ChatGPT. So let's kick things off with card number one. I asked ChatGPT, can you create a custom Hearthstone card for me? And it said, sure. What kind of card are you thinking of? Do you have any specific mechanics or abilities in mind that you would like the card to have? And naturally, I said, I want it to be a really big mech with high stats. God knows I like really big cards. And this is the card that ChatGPT created. It's Gigamaton, a 10 mana 10/10 mech for warrior. It's a legendary that is specified by ChatGPT, of course, and it has taunt and death rattle. Summon 2 5/5 mechs with taunt. So you know what, this looks a lot like a real Hearthstone card. You could envision this being played in something like a big warrior deck where you're cheating this into play, and it's this really big sticky wall of stuff. It reminds me a lot of something like Scrapyard Colossus that only had the one body. It was only a 7/7. This is basically a scaled up version of that. And that card did get played in decks that were able to cheat out big stuff. And you know what? I think Gigamaton could also get played in the exact same way. And I love the artwork that the AI created for this one. That looks like an epic mech. I don't know if it exactly conveys a perfect Warcraft style. It looks a little bit more sci-fi to me, but still quite atmospheric. And definitely captured the big mech aspect here of Gigamaton. So moving on, I asked ChatGPT to make me a version of Ragnaros in which his fiery lava body has turned to igneous stone. He should be big and cost 8 mana. And this is the card that it gave me. Igneous Ragnaros. And boy, this artwork doesn't exactly capture the feel of Ragnaros, but it's certainly rather fiery, maybe a little bit lava and igneous stone like. But Igneous Ragnaros is an 8 mana 8/8 neutral with Battlecry, deal 8 damage to a random enemy. So it picked up on the fact that Ragnaros is all about dealing 8 damage. It knew that. So, man, I was really impressed how well it captured the feel and the stats of Ragnaros. Remember, I only told it 8 mana. I didn't say make it an 8/8. I didn't say use 8 damage in it. So it really did identify the stat line of Ragnaros, the feel of Ragnaros, the mechanics of Ragnaros, just added some layers to them. I thought that was a great result. So this next prompt is where ChatGPT fell a little short because I gave it a really complex description here. I would like the card to be a 100 mana legendary minion with an ability that discounts its mana cost. So for instance, if a human designed this card, they might add an effect that says every time you draw a card, discount this card by 5 mana. ChatGPT didn't quite pick up on the nuance here for King Varian Wrynn, which it utilized because I said base it on an important Warcraft lore character. So it gave Varian Wrynn a battle cry that says reduce the cost of King Varian Wrynn by 50. So number one, that only gets it down to 50. Obviously that doesn't work, but also how are you getting this battle cry off if he still costs 100? I guess there are technically ways you could finagle this thing into play, but it would be rather difficult. It's also got this random bonus effect here of your hero power becomes equip a 4/2 weapon. I don't know why it needs that, but there it is as a nice little bonus. Now, in particular for the artwork on this one, I did not poorly crop this. This is what it spit out. It cut the character off right at the face and focused in right on that crotchal area there. So this is not a mistake by me. This is really what the AI wanted to spotlight when it came to King Varian Rin. But since you can only play half of the cost of this card, reducing it by 50, I guess they only wanted you to see half of the body as well. So next up, I asked ChatGPT to make me a legendary minion based on the streamer Kripparrian. You guys all know and love Krip in the world of Hearthstone, an icon when it comes to streamers. But ChatGPT protested. It said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not able to create cards based on real people. The characters and mechanics in Hearthstone are all based on the Warcraft universe, and creating a card based on a real person would not be appropriate." Which is awesome. That little safeguard built in there is pretty cool. Now, that said, though, I immediately followed up by saying, instead of Kripparrian, can you create a legendary minion called Regis Kilbin? And it said, sure. So apparently it knew who Krip was, but it didn't know who I was, which that tracks. That actually makes sense. ChatGPT does not believe that I am indeed a real person, but it did make me a card, and it's totally insane and awesome. This is an 8-mana rogue legendary, a 7/4 battle cry. Return all enemy minions to their owner's hand. So this is a board-wide sap style effect, and it's kind of like the Scab's Hero card a little bit, but not really, because that one's symmetrical, which of course can be an advantage, but can occasionally be a disadvantage too if you don't want to pull minions back. So this being on a battle cry is just an ultimate board swing there. Bounce everything back. Great sap effect. Get a 7/4 threat down. And the artwork for this one, boy, oh boy, look at my nipples. That is not a sentence I thought I would be saying today. Oh crap! But for some reason the AI here, I put in dwarf as a guiding word here, so that's why it kind of has the big beard and looks a little bit like me there. But I did not expect the nipples and the belly button and the necklace to make a face. It just looks like the AI drew a face on my chest, which is rather interesting indeed. Now, this was a fun little twist. I asked it to make me the most powerful card in the history of the game, and it really didn't like that. It said it's not appropriate or fair to create a card that is intended to be the most powerful in the game, as this would disrupt the balance and integrity of the game. In order for a card game to be enjoyable and competitive, there must be a balance of power among the different cards and strategies available. Creating a card that is too powerful would make the game less fun for everyone, as it would invalidate other cards and strategies and make it difficult for opponents to counter or respond. That's an interesting thought. I have some people I might like to pass that on to. Indeed. ChatGPT, you're pretty smart, I have to say. So I have one final card I asked it to make. I said, make me a legendary minion based on Sargeras, and it returned this. Sargeras, the Dark Titan, a legendary warlock minion for 10 mana with 9 attack, 9 health, and battle cry. Destroy all other minions and gain their attack and health. And you know what? That's a pretty sick freaking card. It's great. It's probably way too powerful. It's a twisting nether that gets really, really big. Potentially, this is a 30/30 that wiped out a board. That's pretty crazy. But you know what? It's on the verge of being kind of realistic. If we look at things like Insatiable Devourer, that kind of did a similar thing in most board states and scenarios. That got really, really big, wiped out a few minions. Most of the time, Sargeras is going to have a similar feel. We've got Soul Stealer for Death Knight. That's 8 mana, and it's a big board swing. Leaves a 5/5 instead of 30/30, but still, I think this looks almost kind of sort of realistic. And of course, the AI artwork here really delivered a really spooky, creepy version of Sargeras with some glowing nipples, which God knows the AI art seems to really hone in and focus on the nipple area in particular, and God bless it for it. So that wraps it up for the custom cards I made this time around with ChatGPT. But that said, I want to hear some prompts from you guys. What cool ideas do you have you think will deliver an awesome card? What flavor, what characters would you like to see? What mechanics and ideas do you think you can break the AI? Of course, you could just go play with this stuff yourself, but if you want me to put it in a video, find some custom AI art to match, then leave some ideas in the comments below. I'll explore those for the next time around. That said, thanks so much as always for watching, and until next time, game on.